This is an urgent public safety announcement from the Regional Emergency Management Agency. We are issuing this broadcast in response to a growing number of concerning reports regarding unusual animal behavior, particularly among domesticated canines, across our forested and suburban woodland interface zones. For weeks, we have received scattered reports, initially dismissed as isolated incidents, detailing a peculiar pattern. Dogs exhibiting persistent, uncharacteristic vocalizations directed towards wooded perimeters, specifically between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. These are not typical territorial barks, nor the playful yaps of a curious pet. Owners describe these sounds as ranging from a low, guttural growl of profound unease to a frantic, almost desperate cry. Mr. Thomas Miller, a resident near the Blackwood Forest perimeter, reported his usually calm Labrador, Daisy, engaging in what he described as a mournful howl, not at the moon but into the trees, every night at precisely 11:17 p.m. for nearly a week. The initial report spoke only of sound. However, the pattern has begun to evolve. We are now documenting an escalation in these events. Following these periods of intense vocalization, some residents report brief, almost imperceptible visual disturbances. These include fleeting shadows at the extreme edge of tree lines, or in a few instances, a perceived shift in the air, a subtle distortion in the ambient light. We reiterate, these are perceived visual anomalies, not concrete sightings, but they are consistent enough to warrant attention. We categorize this phenomenon into 3 distinct stages, and it is crucial that all residents understand them. Stage 1, the alert. Your dog, typically between the late evening and early morning hours, will become agitated, fixating intently on wooded areas or dense brush at the edge of your property. They may bark, growl, or whine persistently. This stage can last for several nights, or even over a week. Do not dismiss this behavior. Bring your pet indoors immediately. Secure all windows and doors. Stage 2, the acknowledgement. If stage 1 persists, you may begin to experience subtle environmental shifts during your pet's alert period. This could include slight electronic interference, a sudden, localized drop in temperature, or faint, unusual auditory cues emanating from the direction your dog is focused on, sounds that are not identifiable as wildlife. At this point, your dog's agitation will likely increase dramatically. Under no circumstances should you or your pet attempt to investigate these phenomena. Do not open doors or windows. Do not approach the perimeter. Stage 3, the absence. This is the most critical and concerning stage. If your pet reaches this point, following prolonged periods of stage 2, reports indicate a sudden and profound cessation of their warning behavior. The intense agitation gives way to an unsettling quiet. Your pet may appear withdrawn, disoriented, or unusually subdued. More disturbingly, there have been increasing reports of small, personally significant household items, particularly those with strong sentimental value, vanishing from within secured residences during these periods. There is no forced entry, no sign of conventional theft. The items simply are no longer there. We are dealing with something that appears to observe, learn, and then act with a degree of precision. The missing items are not random. They are consistently described as irreplaceable mementos, photographs, or small objects deeply cherished by their owners. Our direct instructions are as follows. Trust your pet's instincts. If your dog exhibits any of the described stage 1 behaviors, immediately bring them inside. Do not leave them unattended outdoors during these hours, especially if your property borders wooded areas. Reinforce your home. Ensure all exterior doors and windows are securely locked. Close blinds and curtains fully, especially those facing wooded directions. The less visible your interior, the better. Do not engage. If you witness any anomalies during stage 2, or if your pet exhibits stage 3 behaviors, do not attempt to make contact or investigate. Your primary objective is to secure your household and ensure your safety. Report immediately. Should you experience any of these escalated patterns, particularly stage 2 or stage 3, contact 911 or or your specific regional emergency line immediately. Provide as much detail as possible, noting precise times, durations, and specific observations of your pet and environment. This phenomenon is not localized. While initially concentrated in remote, heavily wooded communities, reports are now emerging from more densely populated suburban areas that share borders with green spaces, parks, and tree lines. The entity or entities involved appear to prioritize households with strong emotional bonds, especially those between humans and their pets. We understand this information may be unsettling. However, your vigilance and adherence to these protocols are paramount. We are actively deploying investigative units, but the nature of this threat is elusive. If your dog alerts you to something in the darkness of the woods, understand that it is not just barking at nothing. It is a sentinel, a warning, and the silence that may follow is not a return to peace. It is merely a transition. Do not let that transition catch you unprepared. Protect your family. Protect your home. Stay safe.